who helped you move abroad? Who helped you find that job abroad? If it was within the same company, like I had sponsors, I had people in the leadership who believed in my capability and who promoted me for this position abroad. So who is your sponsor, and who do they know in that new country that can help you, that can guide you, that can become your new mentor or coach, as you said, exactly. And then getting specific advice tailored to that culture. Yeah, that's great advice, because sometimes you cannot just find it on the internet and looking for like free videos and resources. Maybe you do need a specialist, especially if you're in some leadership position. This is too important to let it just pass by, right? And then, yeah, you ended up by talking about, well, and what if it doesn't work in the end?
Mm-hmm.
I think let's talk about that as well, because it is an option and we need to be ready for that, like having a plan B. Do you have any advice for how to set up your plan B?
So I think what usually happens is that when you go abroad, you believe that this is a new life, something better is coming, and that, you have big plans. And then all of a sudden you realize it's not working out like you wanted to. And it's okay. So that's one of the things that you have to keep in mind. It's okay that you move back, that you move somewhere else if you have to, if you're not happy with the job you have or the country you live in. So I think a lot of people are also families, especially if families are involved, to move again is like a big step. Just leaving everything behind and going again. I think that's the tricky part. Because when you're alone, in this case, it might be easier because you just quit the job, go somewhere else. But if family is involved, you need to think ahead. And that's where I wouldn't say your plan B, but another plan. So when you realize it's not what you want, sit down again with your family and discuss, like be open, have that communication within the family and say, okay, I'm not happy. What about you? And then find a solution together, the plan B or plan C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or however many are needed.
Yeah.
I think what's most difficult, and again, from my own experience, and the women I work with are usually the type A, like perfectionist, the high achiever, and we take it as our personal failure. That was definitely my case in China. I started burning out. The job was not what I wanted to be. The boss was like, I was used to having bosses like mentors who were helping me rise up. And suddenly I was stuck with a micromanaging, jealous person who was absolutely not the way I wanted. So what helped me through that was, again, the sponsorship, like my network back in Belgium, back in the country where you came from. And I, exactly as you're saying, but I cannot imagine doing that if I would have been already with my family. There's so much pressure. But I think what helps to us women who put a lot of pressure on ourselves is to also try to turn it into a gift or opportunity. So even though it failed, or you're going to close that chapter with a different outcome than you were hoping for, what is it that you and your family are learning from that? What is the gifts? What is still that you can celebrate? And maybe after that initial pain and disappointments, like slows down, what is it that you can be happy about when you look back? So yeah, thank you for that permission as well for us to create plan B, C, D, whatever you need.
Lots of letters left from the alphabet, as a lot of people say.
Yeah.
You can plan as much as you want, and it might seem like a failure, as you said, if you are the leader or the high achiever. But at the end, you need to be happy with where you are. And, when you burn out, that doesn't help neither yourself or your family at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
And one tip that I would give, especially if you have that high position or like a leadership or a management position, make sure to check the hierarchical structures in the country you move to, and get an idea of what your team looks like, where they come from, who your boss is, and some background. And it doesn't matter if you're like moving and just planning it, or if you're already there. If you think that you need to take a look at it, I guess that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great advice. I should have got check your boss before you go. Not just 1 or 2 interviews or chats, but do a background check on your boss, because that person has your future in their hands as well. Yeah. Great advice, Martina. Thank you so much. I think we went through the whole expat journey from beginning to an end, including some like SOS scenarios. So I hope this has been helpful for those of you who are watching or listening right now. Martina, I know you have more for those who would love to dive a little bit deeper, because this was just a little taster. So tell us about your free gift, please.
So the first one I would say is our podcast episodes that we recorded, I think last year it was, and you can find them online. They're for free, so you can listen to it, and it's kind of the same structure. It's like moving from before moving abroad to like tips and tricks, like when you're there, and avoid that culture shock and have the mindset of like mindset of an expat, and just being open-minded to what the future may bring. And so that's the first one. You can listen to it, and we will provide the link. And the second one is for those who are in business. You can sign up and you will get like tips on doing business with certain countries. You can download them and you get information on communication patterns, to-dos, and what you should not do, taboo, and also I'm sure I forgot something, but you have a lot of insights and inputs and tips on those PDF forms.
Plenty of resources. So the podcast link is below the interview, and if you want to get the free gift for the business with the business tips, you just click the button with the free gift, and it will take you to a place where you can sign up for the newsletter. That's when you will receive it. Great, Martina. And I loved how you mentioned being open-minded, and I think this could be like additional piece of advice for all the expat moms out there who are struggling, because so often we want to control. And the more insecure, or when we jump into something new and unknown, and as crazy as moving all your family into a different country, it's like we try to control what we can so that at least we feel a little bit safe and comfortable. But actually, the advice you just gave is like open up as much as you can and let it come in whatever shape or form, because you cannot, there's no way you can control your expat experience, right?
Not so much. You can control yourself in a way. And I love what you just said. It's one of the things you like, the core, it should be really looking at your values and what's important, and everything outside of that core, be as open-minded as possible, so that you can allow yourself to get like all the influences and see what's out there.
Excellent. Well, this was your last piece of wisdom from Martina Jeric-Ruzovits. Thank you so much, Martina. Thanks for being with us and sharing all your useful tips. All the moms out there, check out all the links of Martina that are below this interview, and we will see you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.